Mr. Mayor, and Council, before we get started, I'd like to introduce Mike Kisner. He's our manager of the water treatment facility. We want to talk this evening a little bit about the Fairground Road storage tank, the inspection we recently had done. We recently had a NACE inspection done, which is the National Association of Corrosion Engineers. They inspected the exterior of the water tank and the interior to see what was needed to be done. The tank on Fairground Road was built in '96 and put in service in 1997. Had not had any service done since it was put into place in the late '90s. Their recommendations on the exterior, the outer layer coat is pretty well gone. Due to that, they're saying they could go over 5 years. The interior coating, they're saying something needs to be done with it pretty soon as we go through to kind of break it down. Here's just some pictures of the exterior of the valve vault there, kind of gives you some ideas. Pictures of the roof, shows you the hatch and the railing. Some more. Here's some of the ladder and some of the supports. Shows you some of the corrosion. Tank shell and the roof. We currently have $460,000 in the budget. We have some rough numbers from the company that originally wanted to do some spot work. After the inspection and talking with our engineering firm, they're saying that the spot patching is, both say it's a very bad way to go. They're saying the interior should be completely taken down and resealed. With that would give us a 30-year life expectancy once it's all done. Off the rough numbers we have, engineering, you're looking at about $56,000. Inspection $50,000, and the interior rehab you're up at $250 for a total of $306. What we're actually asking tonight though is, the part we need to move forward with is getting the development of the tank offline plan developed to show for all the commercial users out there in case there was a fire that we can meet that, meet their water demand with the tank being out of service since it's never been taken out of service since it's been put in place. The other part would be having the bid documents drafted, all the specs on the actual sealing and the cleaning and the contaminant and all that kind of stuff. What we'd like to do is when we bid it out, is bid two options. Bid one with just the interior work and bid one with both, just to see what the bids come back at and how far we're off, what money we have. Depending on what the bids come back, if we're fairly close, maybe we can find enough to do the whole thing, or if we can just do the interior of the project at this point.
My thought would be a full tank rehabilitation myself, because when you start doing partial, the rest of it's going to be rusting, but we'll leave it up to Council Gene.
Are they going to do epoxy it, or are they going to just paint it?
It would be a full epoxy. They got different new coatings out now, Sherman-Williams, name it. So the idea would be the interior would be just basically sand it down, recoat, leave the primer in place, and recoat it with a new technology or newer technology you have now. And basically, it's almost like a not plastic, but a coating, a pretty thick coating that they say that get 30 years at least, potentially more. Now the exterior, the interior, basically there's no, you can get away with full coating. The exterior you have to do a full sandblast, and then you have to put the primer coating in, and then also the exterior coating as well. So it'd be a dual system exterior with just a single coating in the interior as well. But the ideal is the interior. There's no metal loss, if you will, at this point. So if you wait on the interior, it could be potentially cost a lot more. The exterior already has to be done to the interior you didn't, you know, but like Mr. Mayor said,
I
probably
agree.
nice to do it all at one time.
You could do it on time, it'd be at least 25% cheaper.
Right. And one mobilization to it. You would have to pay them to come back again for mobilization.
The one thing I don't understand is you've already had it inspected to give you what you got. So why do we have to spend another $50,000 to inspect it again?
That's for the work. That's to have the work inspected.
Or you talking about a clerk?
Yeah, that would actually be later. These would actually be the only things, and actually the NACE inspection's done. We had to do it while Dominion was offline.
Now, have you already paid CHA for what you have here on this
No,
side?
no, that's what we're trying to get permission to move forward with, is getting them to create the
No, I mean,
authorized.
who inspected this to say that, did y'all take the pictures or did CHA do it?
Well, the NACE inspector did.
SME CHA through SME, which is contract.
So that's
through
already been
CHA.
paid for?
No,
It's in the overall price of the project, but
they've done it. We haven't been billed for it yet.
So is 50,000 going to cover both? the
Yes.
Inspection and inspection during the process of the,
No.
What?
50,000 would be just during the project.
yeah.
This,
how much, then tell me what's the cost of what you already did?
Okay.
6,500. That's see the NACE inspection on the top? That's the original inspection to get us where we are now.
But to clarify, it had additional tasks on it as far as inspection throughout the process. Instead of having somebody here each day, you would go to certain points of the project, you know, get after sandblasting and cleaning. But that would be additional cost once the work would start of 50 to 65,000. I think that's right at $65,000. But what that would do is have a nice inspector on site at the critical points to make sure that the coating, the mixing, the preparation, all that is done per spec, and to make sure it is done correctly ahead
So
of time.
now you're up to another 15,000.
You're at a probably additional 65,000 for the work itself, but that would be subbed out through SME along once we know if we're going to do the full coating or just the interior.
Okay. Joe, going back, you have 460,000, correct?
Yes.
All right, 154,000, if the contract was that much, do you have any money in the budget? I know we got money in the thing, but is there any money budgeted for that? And what kind of a time dilemma are we looking at? If we put it out there today, and we get CHA to go ahead and do the process of the bid, material, documents, whatever, when do you think all this might come to fruition?
I would hope,
I was going to say probably midsummer.
yeah, I would think that we could get some numbers back within, 60 days, I would think.
Okay, and then how long would it take to do it? About, I'm thinking about 90 days.
Probably about 3 to 5 months, well, the tank would be
Oh,
done.
that
Or we're thinking right around 3 months, could be a little bit
But that's
longer,
what
but
I was
yes.
going to say, 3 months.
Yeah, and that's another thing that, that comes to mind. If we do just the interior, then you're gonna have to take it out surface twice, which could leave us, for the demand and the million it puts us in there.
Twice the chance of something happening.
So if we would consider approving this at this point, then at a later time, we would have to bring forward another 150 plus thousand in our water.
And I think all we're going to do tonight is moving forward with that.
I know that, but I'm trying to get some, let everybody know what's
It
going to
would be
happen.
whatever the bids were, and then 50-some thousand for the inspection.
Yeah, so the plan would be to bid it all different ways. So just interior, exterior, and we have option A, B, and C. So we would have a plan for the price list for the interior, plan for full rehabilitation. At that point, once we actually have a number that we have, potentially we would come back and ask for additional funding that we currently don't have budgeted.
We've been saying, I've done this before, and I want the council to understand what's going on.
Right.
I don't think too many of you, I mean, you may have, but some of you haven't seen any of this kind of work done. I just want to make sure everybody's aware that money's going to have to be brought forward through the water department in order to cover the additional cost at some time.
Yes. And like I say, with the inspection, the interior has to be done. They're recommending that being done now. And you potentially wait on the exterior for, 4 or 5 years, but it's probably not the recommended way to go because of additional costs.
Jerry?
Yeah, I would like to see us move forward with those phases of it.
Both estimates.
But the one will be, it's just the metal's gonna be very, how it's gonna be like this.
Bill?
And then Gene had a question I was gonna ask, how long it's gonna be down for, and he said no less than 5 months.
Probably
Three months,
five.
we're thinking right around 3, potentially could go a little longer, yes, sir.
Thank you.
Bill?
I'd like to see it move forward, but what is a contingency plan? Because we're already under the gun to create a loop system out there to supply water. How is our customers going to go,
Joe, would you like to answer that one, Joe?
90 days?
Well, tonight, obviously, you know, you can see where the total project cost estimated is going to be $656,000. Obviously, we don't have that amount of money funded already. So basically what we're seeking for tonight is just to get the project moving so that we can actually find out what that bottom dollar value is.
It has no connection with the loop.
But, yeah, with the loop, you know, hopefully we
I
can
don't
be.
mean looping. We're being asked to do something to supply a second line out there and $3 million plus. And they're telling us that this is imperative that we do that. You're gonna take the tank down for 3 months. How are you gonna supply the water in an emergency?
Well, that's kind of the whole tank offline plan. That's why we need to get, that's one of the first things we need to get done. To see exactly what will have to be done and it can be done, you know, before we move any further.
Yeah, tonight, we're just looking for council approval to move forward with the estimates.
What's yours?
And then once we get the estimates, you'll put a plan into action and see where it needs
Part of
to be.
this plan was, a lot of the work potentially would have to be done while the minimum was down for their 6 weeks, but. there would be
Unfortunately, all tanks have to come down at some point.
a full
I
estimate.
don't have any qualms, that's why I say move forward.
Oh,
I'm just concerned about the other side of the coin when, you know, we're being told we need the extra line, the dual system running out across the river.
Yep. Chris?
Yeah, so it's going to get some bids, see what they come back. And
Natasha.
We can,
Yeah, we definitely need to move forward on it.
Move forward, Joe?
Yeah, so basically what you
Thank you,
will
guys.
see is at next week's council meeting, an approval process for the amount of money for this project.
And maybe you can get with Bill and explain the necessity of this tank.
Well, on the loop feed across, hopefully we should be back to council in March or early April to discuss the loop feed and where we stand with that, cost estimates.
But I think once the tank goes down, then we're kind of like, we got to hurry up and get it
Well,
repaired.
you know, the tank's only 1 million gallons, so it's
Right.
it's not like a 3 million gallon tank sitting out there.
And to answer some of Bill's question, if he, he wanted to talk a little bit with him, part of the SOP would be put in place, actually start the pump station up during, a fire, if you will. But we would have to put blow-offs within the system. So there's a full SOP that would have to be put in place if we would have a fire, if you had gas stuff. And part of that is to then run all the different scenarios and say, okay, if this happens, do A, B, and C. And for the town side, to make sure there is a emergency plan in place for that situation.
Should that actually keep the tank in service?
Well,
basically,
like I say,
Not as,
you have the guard hill there, but you would have to operate
okay,
across,
yeah.
and you would, given fire flows, we put what we call relief valves in the hydrants that would put off the excess pressure,
Okay.
if you will. Not
That's
that
what I just said, the guardrail tank really is the main
Right.
that has a
function
big
of
pump
that.
down the bottom of the
And
hill.
with that being said, is you can't just got pumps
It
on it.
pumps up there and then dumps, and then it comes back down through,
Right.
because that's the 3 million that's on top.
Yeah, and we would set pressure relief valves throughout the fairground system.
Right.
You cut the pump on, it would access, you don't put a pipe out.
Right, gotcha.
And one thing with the tank offline plan, that would be just for this, anytime in the future some emergency would happen, something would break, you have it to work off of, to know, what you can do safely.
So you think they will have to put whether out, or, not an altitude valve, the pressure reducing valve?
Yeah, well, no, I'm thinking, when we take 55 tank out of service, if they're at Commonwealth, what we do is we open up a hydrant, we set the pressure based off the system pressure. So when we cut the pump on, when that pressure goes from 100 PSI to 120 PSI, it blows off into a cauldron, if you will. But that's only when the pump's operating. So typically, not knowing scenarios, you would have to set some stuff out
You're
there.
still gonna have to put a pressure reducing valve somewhere in that system.
Yeah, but what we do is we would open up, we'd actually install them on hydrants, on a 2.5-inch hydrant, and it'd be like, well, a relief valve, if you will, where we relieve the pressure.
Which, I mean, you would have to.
So wouldn't it be better though to put an actual,
Pressure reducing valve.
Pressure reducing valve
You
in
wouldn't
the
have,
line, so you'll have it there in the future?
so you'd have,
Not have a temporary one on the fire hydrant?
well, you have your closed system, so you don't really have anywhere for the water to go because, you know,
I understand that.
you don't have your fan.
But what I'm saying is, if you can put it in now while you're doing the project, then in the future time, you may need it again, and you've already got it installed in the system. And if you regulate it properly, it'll work just as good as without it.
Yeah, I don't know as far as having a permanent one. I know right now on current systems for age 55, we would basically put it on the hydrant itself. May have to put multiple just for, and hopefully, you know, just the duration of the fire, if you will. Big thing is making sure that we got, you know, enough water to feed the minion. You would have to make sure that you're putting out there what do fire suppression, testing during that time, and a lot of things like
I
that.
just want to make sure that we don't spend money and then later on have to
Right,
re-spend it
right.
again. If we can do it one time and then have it for the future, then that way we don't have to spend it more once.
Yeah, and
Well,
we've done it
mine
on,
just said like it's out of service, that's the time.
right, and we've done it on these other systems, you know, if you will, but you would probably have to do it at the end of your water lines, if you will.
Thanks, guys.